As part of this lecture, let's go to the details about what happens when we try to run or execute a query. There will be two major steps. The two major steps are nothing but compile the query. Second one is nothing but run the query. Compile, then run. Run means to execute the logic in the query, process the data based on the logic, and show the results. Now let's deep dive what happens as part of the compilation process. First, it will take care of checks such as syntax and semantics. If there are any errors with respect to syntax and semantic checks, those errors will be thrown. You have to make sure the errors are fixed and you have to take it further. After performing syntax and semantic checks, if everything is right, then it will actually generate something called as explain plans. Explain plans will be used to execute the query later. For a given query, there can be more than one explain plan. It will actually choose the optimal explain plan and then it will run. So after generating the explain plans, choose the optimal explain plan, then run. So at a higher level, when we try to run a query, the query will be compiled and then run. As part of the compilation process, it will take care of syntax and semantic checks. Then it will take care of generating the explain plans. Then it will choose optimal explain plan. Then it will run the query. Using the chosen optimal explain plan, the query will be run. As part of running the query, the data will be fetched from the tables into the memory of the database, processed based on the logic, and then eventually you will see the results. Now let us go to the details about why explain plans will be generated and what is the criteria based on explain plans will be chosen. If you think about it, if you go to maps.google.com, if you wanted to travel from Dallas to Houston, let me say Dallas, and then let me click on directions. Let me choose Houston here. Let me swap. I want to go from Dallas to Houston. For those who are not from US, Dallas and Houston are two big cities in a state called as Texas in US. That being said, here is the Dallas and here is the Houston. You can visualize multiple routes from Dallas to Houston. However, three of them are highlighted, but if you think about it, you can actually take this route also. And you can travel from Dallas to Houston using that route. Even you can think about traveling via this route. Even this route will take you from Dallas to Houston. However, even though there are n number of possible routes, three of them are highlighted. What are the three that are highlighted? First one is this one, second one is this one, third one is this one. Out of these three, even one is selected. It have chosen one route. The criteria that is used to choose the route or highlight the route can be time, distance, cost, etc. In the similar manner, whenever you try to run a query in a database, there can be n number of ways the query can be executed. However, we have to choose one of the way and execute. The database technologies are smart enough to identify those different ways and also to choose the optimal way. The way it is taken care of is by using explain plans. That is where the explain plans comes into picture. Keep in mind that as users, by running SQL queries against the database, even though we are developers, we are not responsible to generate explain plans or to choose optimal explain plan. It is taken care of by the database itself. Sometimes to choose optimal explain plans, we can give hints, but we don't have any control on choosing the optimal explain plan as users of database technologies by writing SQL queries. Then what is the responsibility of a developer who is a user of a given database technology from the perspective of these explain plans? The primary responsibility of a developer who is a user to write SQL queries against the database is to interpret this chosen optimal explain plan, identify if there are any performance bottlenecks based on this chosen optimal explain plan. If there are any potential bottlenecks, the bottlenecks should be addressed. That is the responsibility of the developer who is user against the database technologies by writing the queries. As part of the sectional model, we'll actually go through the details about how to interpret these chosen optimal explain plans, identify the bottlenecks, and then address the bottlenecks by taking corrective actions.